Hello and welcome. This is Sheree with rehashfiber. Today I have a great cardigan pattern for you. This is called Barley Field. It is by Jojo Knitwear, Hobbii Design. Okay, there's a whole lot of story wrapped up in this one, and I'm going to split it into two parts. I'm going to tell you about this great sweater. This is actually the second one that I did. The first one was an epic failure. And so after I tell you about the greatness, I will share with you about the first one and all the things that I did wrong to make it wrong. So at this point, I do feel like that very rejoiceful feeling of like finishing a marathon, because yes, I did it twice. Now this sweater does have a backstory. I've been wanting to make my mom a sweater. I've made her two, and there are other types. Like I wanted her to just have a really nice, comfy, soft cardigan. This is it. I found the pattern. It is from Hobbi, which is from Copenhagen, Denmark. And I showed her the picture and she fell in love with it and said she wanted it in blue. So for this one, I used the yarn that the pattern calls for, and it worked out beautifully. This yarn is also from Hobbi. You get it from their store. You can order it online. It does come from Denmark, but it comes quickly and there's not extra fees or anything. You hold the yarn together. Two yarns. Divina, which is, let's see, alpaca, polyamide, and wool, but it is mostly alpaca. And then you hold it with a 100% alpaca lace. Now what's kind of cool is that Hobbi is in Denmark, but the Divina is from Italy, and this 100% alpaca is from Peru. So the whole world is in on making this sweater. It's just kind of cool. It makes it feel like a more, I wouldn't say a smaller place, but just a more, you know, like it takes everybody. So I don't know, it feels good. Anyway, so I used the yarn and it worked out perfectly. Held double. It is like an Aran weight, and I used, however, it's very light feeling. So I used an 8 and 9. Those are US sizes in needles. The 8, of course, was for the ribbing at the borders, and then 9 throughout. The back is straight stockinette stitch. You do see all this beautiful fancy work up front. It is gorgeous, but it is 3 stitches. So don't let this intimidate you. If you are interested at all in doing this, just remember it's 3 stitches. In the pattern by Jojo, she does give you QR codes. You can click on these and get her instruction on how to do the stitches. Wonderful. It is done, she shows you continental style. When I do sweaters that need to have the right gauge, I do it the way I originally learned to knit, which was English style, throwing, because it's more even. So what I did is I went ahead and I videotaped the same stitches with it done English style. And I will put that at the end of this episode, because some of you may be just here to see this. And if you do choose to do it, it'll be at the end of the show. I will put a timestamp so you can find it. So moving on. It is worked top down. You do the raglan style for the sleeves, and you just go to town all the way down doing a series of 4 different types of rows. Now she has wonderful patterns here, charts that you can see, and after you get used to making those stitches, then it's in your head, and of course it was really in my head after doing it twice. But you can really just go to town and do it, and then it's just really fun to watch this come about. I did the sleeves on circular needles just because I think it's fun to keep going in the round. And of course there was that ribbing at the bottom. Now what I want to tell you though about this pattern is I did find it more intermediate style, written that way. It does help if you have a background in knitting already when you're doing this. Now, I feel like I get spoiled because there's some designers that write out every row what you're supposed to do, and I love it because I love lists. I put my ruler on it, I do what it says, cross it off, go to the next one. This one was more, this is how you do it. Now do that for X amount of stitches or X amount of inches, so on and so forth. There was a couple times I just had to sit and think a minute and go, okay. So I would just say intermediate. However, don't let that stop you because this is very pretty. I want to tell you that if you don't understand something, you now have the plethora of the internet. She's showing you how to do the stitches here. Also, use your brain. I call it marinate. If I don't understand something, I will leave it, especially like overnight, and just kind of like go, okay, back in my brain, go to work. And you'd be surprised the things I can figure out the next day because I was working on it. And that's what I did a lot in the early days before. When I started knitting, there wasn't much internet help for this at all. Much, I don't think there was any. So I had to figure it out with books and my own brain. But anyway, if you're new, don't let this stop you. Just take it section by section. You can do it. It is very beautiful and very fun to do. All right, let's see. I do want to just show you pictures of the store in Copenhagen. These were taken by other people, of course. This cluster of images here is actually from Hobbii itself, and they opened in 2020. So I think that is just really neat. I think that's all I can tell you about the good one. Let's move on to my big epic mistake. Okay, so backing up, when I was deciding which yarn to use for this pattern, I did order 1-in-1. So I ordered the Divina and the lace. And when I touched it, I thought, I don't know about this. I'm a big fan of wool. And I know wool is so good for us to wear as well. So I opted not to do that because it felt light and I just wanted more of the wool feeling. So I ordered some superwash merino wool. To get the gauge, I had to hold a worsted and a fingering together. Now, the weight of it, like skein for skein, it felt good. However, I wasn't thinking, add all of that weight, literal weight. It was gonna be a heavy sweater. Not like this. I did not think about that. My other mistake was, I didn't do a full gauge swatch. I hardly ever do that, and I've had a lot of success. So that's what made me kind of lackadaisical about it, is that I only did enough stitches so that I could do the stitch count and left it at that. And what ended up happening is I made the entire sweater. I washed it, blocked it, and it was feeling really big then. And I just picked it up and it was just a huge, heavy, very oddly fitting sweater. And I went into like crisis mode of like researching on the internet. How can I fix this? How can I make this collar not droop so much? How can I do this, that? And then I slept on it overnight, didn't sleep so good. Woke up the next morning with the realization, that one's not gonna work. Let my mom know it's gonna be a little bit longer. Took it all out. Because what I can't stand is something that is a mistake just sitting there that would make me miserable. Took the whole thing out, brought it back to balls of yarn, and it's potential now for something to make next year, like a blanket. So I then ordered all the yarn that I needed to make this lovely size small in the yarn that it called for from the pattern, and it worked like a dream. So there's my story there. And from now on, I will make a full gauge swatch, wash it and block it before I make anything big like this, a cardigan again. Because when you want it to fit right, that is the thing to do. So, yeah, I make mistakes. I want you to learn from them. I don't really think there is much more I can tell you. I would just say use the yarn that it calls for and you'll have a great time. And they do have a wide variety of colors, so you can have fun with that. So right now we're gonna move on to how to do the stitches English style, but I'm gonna say my goodbyes right now. So everybody have fun doing the Barley field sweater, and thanks for watching. I've been working down the front of the pattern now for quite a few inches. Now the first thing we're going to come to is the purl 3 together. It stays on the left needle and you do the three stitches all while it stays on the left needle. So you're going to purl and knit and purl, all of them together. So I'm going to show you how to do that one. There's always these 2 knit stitches to start off with. And I had to hold 2 yarns double to get gauge, so please just think of that as 1 yarn. Or if you're holding 2, you got the idea. All right, so we're doing the purl 3 together. We're going to go into these 3 stitches and we're going to purl them. We are not going to remove the stitches from the left needle. We're going to bring the yarn from the right all the way to the back, and we're going to knit through the same 3 stitches. Pull up a little bit of yarn. I do find it gets a little tight sometimes. Now we're going to go back and purl through those same 3 stitches. And then you can push it off the hook, and that is how that is done. And as the next row work it out, they end up looking like these cute little, to me I feel like they look like little flowers, but I really like that. On the second row in the pattern sequence, this is the wrong side row, and you're going to purl over. And then when you see in the pattern chart this, like a V with a 5, it means to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all in the same stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So in the previous row there was a yarn over in the pattern, and that is what you are doing all these stitches into. So you see here we have the yarn over. There's a lot of yarn there, so this is very easy to do. We're going to knit, never sliding it off of the left needle. We're going to purl. We're going to knit. We're going to purl. And we're going to knit. And that is how you do that stitch. They're all lined up there. Now because we're on the wrong side, I'm doing 1 stitch, purl. That was just a regular stitch. And then right away in the pattern is another yarn over. So I'm going to show you how to do it one more time. Going to knit, purl, all into the same stitch, never taking it off, knit, purl, and the last one is knit. And that is how you do that special stitch. The third row of this 4-row repeated pattern that goes through the front here, you will see this symbol on the chart. It's a line with a couple of lines underneath it. And I'm just going to show you how to do it rather than read this off to you. In the previous row where we did that knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, all in 1 yarn over, now we're going to handle that. So with that symbol that I showed you, here's what we're going to do. You see all the stitches here lined up. We're going to knit 2 together. Now I'm going to pass it from the right needle back to the left needle so that I'm able to then pass the next 3 stitches over. There's one hiding there. Okay, so we're going to pass 1 over, and you do them 1 at a time. 1, 2, 3. That's how we get those lovely little knots that are running throughout this thing here. Okay. Sorry, interrupted myself. Once you pass the 3 over, then you move it back to your right needle, and that is complete. We're going to do 1 normal stitch as a knit. Then the pattern takes us right into another one of those. So we're going to knit 2 together. You pass it from the right needle to the left. Now we're going to pass 3 over that stitch one at a time. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now I'm going to carry on with my row. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, pass it right back over to the right needle. Then you're ready to go. I'm going to carry on with my row. And then what's nice about this 4-row repeat is your 4th row is always just purling straight across. So you have your work to do, but remember, you always have this nice easy section. The back is just a straight stockinette stitch. Then you go back to your design, but your 4th row is just a straight row of purling. It is very fun to watch this come about, and it's worthwhile to do, so I hope you enjoy it.